welcome to tonight's Tower Talk. My name is Nicole Scott. I am a holistic nutritionist and I have been part of the Juice Plus community for 15 years. And as you can see behind me, I have one of my 3 tower gardens. This one is my indoor growing tower with my lights. And I'll be talking to you a little bit more about it. And I have been towering since the beginning, since March of 2012. And I'm going to share a screen with you. So obviously tonight somebody has invited you on this call. They think that there's an interest in what we do, and I have the honor and privilege to take you through this presentation. And here we go. Okay, so as I said, here's my first tower in 2012. That's when I had dark hair. Now I have gray hair. I'm not sure if it's my kids, if I can blame it on my kids or genes. But anyways, my story begins with actually being quite skeptical of the tower garden. Why was I skeptical is I was kind of like a soil gardener, if anybody can relate on the call. It was all about the soil. I had grandparents that were ranchers and gardeners, so I kind of grew up in that. And that's kind of the only gardening that I knew. And the home that I was in at the time, we got our first tower garden. We lived on 3 acres and we had a huge, huge soil garden. And I'm going to show you that in a sec. What I can tell you is that this tower garden was really easy to build. My 8-year-old at the time actually built it with directions in about 30 minutes. So it's not an intimidating tool. I like to call it like adult Lego. It's that easy to put together and kind of like plug and play. So this was my soil garden. This is what I had been managing for many, many summers. And then the tower garden came. And like I said, I was quite skeptical, but I was willing to try it. It was part of our product profile with the company, and I was curious. And so my first couple months in the summer with my first tower, I had a very positive experience. I was actually quite shocked how fast the produce grew, how wonderful it tasted. Even some of the stuff compared to my soil garden, I was actually quite shocked. And in that same summer, my husband at the time was quite curious and he wanted to get his tower garden. So we had his and hers that first summer by the pool. And then after that first summer, we realized that we were weeding about 23 days of the entire summer, this garden, weeding. And we realized how much we did not like weeding. And we realized with the tower garden, we actually did not have to weed. So we kind of dove in and we decided we were going to create a little mini tower garden farm, and that's what we did. This was a hobby, this was a passion, this was a small side business. We sold our organic produce to the farmers market. It was such a beautiful gift to give both of my daughters to learn how to sell produce, talk about produce, be proud of what we grew. They were a very active component to our passion, which was kind of cool. You can also see there's a bunch of seedlings there. We also did a side business where we actually sold these seedlings across Canada. We shipped them to tower garden consumers where they wanted seedlings already ready to go so they could like plug and play. So it was a beautiful experience. We had this farm for many years and we had a vision to actually open up the first tower garden farm in Canada. Now, that marriage did not last, unfortunately, but we are good friends today. Out of the 16 towers, I took 3 and he took 13 by choice because 3 was more than enough to feed me and my 2 girls. And he's still using it as a business because he owns 2 cafes where he uses the produce to offer in his sandwiches and stuff. So it worked out really well. Yep.
I'm so sorry. Is there a waiting room where people could be waiting? Because I don't know how to do that. If there is, I think there might be some people waiting.
Let me just double check.
I apologize, guys.
No, that's okay. I think we're good.
Okay. Randy thought he may have some guests, so I didn't.
Yeah,
I thought we got rid of the waiting room.
I don't see anybody in the waiting room at this time.
Okay, perfect.
No, and usually I do get a notification if there is someone. You'll see it at the
Okay.
bottom of the screen if you're.
That's what I figured. Okay.
Yep.
All
So
right.
we're good. No problem. Thanks.
I think I was Randy's guest and I just joined, so.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So yeah, so this was the vision to have one of these beautiful, you know, farms. This is actually a friend of mine down in Florida, and I just want to kind of give you the vision of what we had, because a lot of these farms are popping up all over the United States, and they're starting to show up in Canada, which is really exciting, and I really believe this is the future of gardening. This is inside her greenhouse. You can see her beautiful seedlings and how beautiful and lush. And she sells the produce at farmers markets, at restaurants, at grocery stores. And it's just a sight to see. I have been through a number of Tower Garden farms in the US. They're pretty amazing, pretty inspiring. Kids love them, lots of school tours. There's my friend Jan. She used to own a juice bar. She's a naturopathic doctor and got into this vision. And thanks to Jan, she's actually the visionary of the Tower Gardens with Juice Plus. She was the one that went straight to our president and said, you have to look at these Tower Gardens. I think this would be such an amazing tool, because we're all about helping people get more plants in their diet, and this would be a perfect fit. And over time, she gave birth to that idea with Jay Martin, the president, which is, yeah, so we have to all thank Jan for her persistent activity before Jay said yes. So I'm going to just start by talking about hydroponics and aeroponics, because that's the technology that we use in the Tower Garden. So hydroponic farming is a method of growing plants using mineral nutrient solutions in water without soil. It was pioneered in the 18th century, and its application continues to expand around the world. Water usage is approximately 70% less than the traditional soil growing. And aeroponic farming is the process of growing plant in an air or mist environment without the use of soil. And it differs from conventional hydroponic, where the roots sit in the water nutrient solution. Water usage is approximately 70% less than hydroponic growing. So we use both of these technologies. It was developed by Tim Blank. Lots of information on the internet about Tim Blank and who he is, but I'll quickly just do a summary. In '93, Tim was hired by Walt Disney World in Florida as an advanced intern at Epcot Center, living with the Land Pavilion. I'm not sure if anybody on here went through that, but when we went to Disney, we actually got to go through it and see all this crazy, funky food growing like the Tower Garden way. He spent the next 6 years conducting research in every horticultural discipline imaginable, and also served as a research liaison for the Department of Energy and NASA. In 2000, Tim accepted the position of Chief Horticulturist and Greenhouse Manager of the Living with the Land Pavilion. And then in '05, Tim left Disney to launch a one-of-a-kind company called Future Growing, which is dedicated to reintroducing the healthy food. And so he ended up bringing that individual Tower Garden actually to the market, which was pretty exciting. And then over time, the Juice Plus company bought the rights with the Tower Garden for the world to sell, which is pretty cool. So we partner with Tim Blank still, and he's always at our conferences. And we just had our online conference Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this past. And he had a presentation there to talk about the history, where it's been. So the Tower Garden, let's talk about the product benefits. It's soil-free system, which means there's no weeding. Yay! I do not like weeding. There's no tilling, kneeling, or getting dirty. There's no gardening necessary. It fits easily on patios, decks, porches, balconies, terraces, rooftop gardens. It grows many fruits and veg, herbs and flowers. No root vegetables, though. You can purchase add-on kits, whether it's the regular plant size 28s, or you can do the microgreens, which is a new kit. It uses less than 10% of traditional growing nutrients and water. It produces crops in about 1/3 less time than it takes to grow in soil. It extends the growing season in colder climates. You can do a submersible heater. We played around with that, but then these came out, which is called Grow Lights. And so the Grow Lights have been around for a while. This is a newer version, about 6 months old, and they're amazing. And they definitely help your plants grow pretty fast indoors. Not as comparable to the sun. I don't think we can ever beat the sun, but definitely pretty fast. I was probably eating off of my tower in about 4 weeks. Indoors, and probably outdoors in about 3 weeks. It's made from USD approved UV stabilized food grade plastic, no leaching, and it's just a fun, educational tool for the family. So you can see on the right hand side there is a picture of the tower garden, and as you can see that it's cut open, and there's this pump there. It's like a fish tank pump. You plug it in, you put it on a timer, and the water runs up and then sprinkles on the root of the plants. And it was designed to create a highly oxygenated environment for the plant roots, and research is, Becky, can you do some muting with the lines, please? Research has shown that increased oxygen to the root system helps to prevent disease and improves the plant growth. And yeah, so I mean, and there's the green technology component of it too, right? It's a closed system. It recycles the water and nutrients. And I just find that this is such a green print that we're leaving on Mother Earth, which is so awesome. It's healthier and it tastes better. I mean, how fresh can you get just going straight to your basement or kitchen or backyard and cutting and, right to the plate. And I love the fact that, you can grow the tomatoes and lettuce and basils and peppers and spinach and beans, cucumbers, melons, herbs. And kids love to get involved with the tower garden. And I love the fact that we're not using herbicides or pesticides. So you're really getting a healthy plant all year round. There's a vision of, I get asked this all the time, give me an idea of what that looks like for growing. Most people start with the greens because they're the easiest and fastest to start. So I would say, go for your lettuces and your herbs. And then when you get out in the summertime where you have the heat, to start using some of your advanced, like the fruits and the vegetables, where you can let the bees pollen your plants and you can grow beautiful cucumbers and strawberries. This is what your kit would look like. You would get your rock wool. Rock wool is the medium that the seeds go in. Rock wool is spun rock that's been crushed, and then it feels like insulation, and that's where the seeds go in. And then poof, some of them grow obviously faster than others depending on the seeds that you're looking at. But when they get strong enough, you put them in the tower garden so that they can grow even faster. So on average, about 2 weeks in your rock well. So this is just a vision. We've got 2 versions of the tower garden. The one on the right has been around for 8 years. It's called the Tower Garden Flex. This is our big guy, 20 gallons of water that you would put in with some earth minerals every time you fill up. Again, you plug and play. It's on a timer. It self-waters. If you're like me and you tend to forget your plants, and they usually die, you don't have to worry about that because the plants are growing without your help. Obviously, you're going to fill up the basin probably every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on where you live and how hot it gets and how big your plants are. The one thing I like about the garden, the Tower Garden Flex, is they actually have a plant cage, and that plant cage is an accessory that attaches, and so you can start to grow advanced, plants that need a little bit more support. Right now in my basement, I actually have a Tower Garden Flex, and then I just use the grow lights, and the grow lights are dual, so they go on either one. The one on the left is called the Tower Garden Home. That unit just came out in January, so it's a smaller unit. It's actually got built-in wheels. You can actually buy attached wheels for the Tower Garden Flex if you choose. It's 13 gallons of water. This one does not have a cage, so I would say that you probably can't do a lot of the advanced vegetables, but you definitely would consider focusing on your greens and your herbs. Can it go outside? Yes, it can go outside. Obviously, you're not going to take the grow lights outside, but yes, you can take the Tower Garden Home outside, and then again in the winter time, bring it in. But 98% less water, less space, more yield. It grows 3 times faster than soil. It's safe and nutritious. And this was actually, there was research at the University of Mississippi, and they compared a soil garden to the Tower Garden Flex by Juice Plus. And the really cool thing is, and this is where my skepticism came in, is the plants as nutritious as soil? And my skeptic brain is like, no, there's no way that our plants could be as, nutritious as soil. But this particular, study that came out, which they're ranked like the top horticulturist university in the United States, that their soil is going to be really good and really well taken care of. And the results came out and they were equal in nutrition. And I was absolutely shocked, I'm not gonna lie. And that was really impressive. I talked about some of the enhancements. Like I said, the lights came out about 6 months ago. They go on either unit. And then we have this beautiful microgreen attachment that just came out recently. So if you are into microgreens, which are super small plants full of tons of nutrition, I say a lot of the fancy restaurants typically use them. You'll see them on the plate to make it look pretty, but you do want to eat them because they're full of so much nutrition, concentrated nutrition. So just some summary points for the Tower Garden. Research shows Tower Garden grows food more quickly with no loss of nutrient value. You're able to harvest your food at the peak of ripeness. So I like to say vine ripen, which is cool. It decreases shopping and food waste. I find on average about people are recouping their Tower Garden for sure in less than a year. And, even in the first 6 months, people are recouping if they're growing a lot of the green leafy vegetables and they're growing it fast. And it saves a lot of money by not buying expensive produce in the winter. So you definitely start to save money on your Tower Garden once it's paid for. It's self-sustainable, eco-friendly. I've already went through a lot of these points. It's low cost to maintain, so big jugs of nutrients depending on how many you have. Like I got a big jug of the AB tonic. I have 3 Tower Gardens, and I still have tonic from last summer, and I was feeding 3 of my Tower Gardens. So you pay for your tonic, and you pay for your rock wall, and you pay for your seeds. So very, very low maintenance. Tons of excellent customer service and online support, and beyond organic. Common question, how fast does it grow? This is an example. By day 7 of putting the seedlings in the tower, then you look at day 14, day 21, and then you see by about day 28, you're eating off of your Tower Garden outside. Is the tonic organic? We can't call it organic, the tonic. Tonic is all natural, and it's inorganic ionic minerals that we use from the earth, preventing us to call it organic, but it is coming from Mother Nature. And it's tested to make sure there are no heavy metals. It can't be as good as growing in dirt. I think I answered that. We proved it actually can based on that research in Mississippi. Why no dirt? We use the water to deliver the nutrients. Is this PVC pipe material? The material was actually created, is NASA created, and it's highly density polycarbonate and UVA and B protected to last decades. So we get this question a lot because we have a lot of partners in Arizona. I'm in Arizona, and what's my growing season? Did you say something, Becky? No? Okay. So outdoor season for the hot areas in the US would be like September to June. And then when it starts to get really hot, that's when you need to bring it into the shade or inside with the grow lights, because you will burn the tower. It's just too hot. Canada growing season typically is outdoor from May to September, and indoor is October to May. Okay, lots of in the news, which is kind of cool. ABC News, CNN, gardening, balancing act. It's been in magazines and featured. It's pretty awesome. Getting a lot of recognition right now too, especially with the fear and concern of our food safety and food quality. People are really having a look at this as an option for their future. So where can you focus on the Tower Garden? Where can they go in the world? And when you think of the Tower Garden, I love to think about residential and consumer. That's where we kind of focus our efforts, is backyards, patios, balconies, rooftops, cottages, restaurants and inns, wellness centers and spas. I love as well focusing on community in schools. I'm going to just stop right here and bring Becky on, because Becky, I'm going to introduce you guys to Becky. She is a mom on a mission. She lives in Ottawa, and I think she's one of the top Tower Garden partners in all of Canada. And I think she has gotten the most Tower Gardens into schools, which is just incredible. So I'm going to get her to talk a little bit about her experience in the schools and being a partner and talking about other places to get them in.
Hi guys, thank you, Nicole. Yeah, so I'll just try to quickly give you a little bit of a background. So I grew up on a farm, so I was always very fortunate to know, where my food was coming from. My grandmother had a beautiful garden, and I ended up going to school for hotel, resort, restaurant administration. So I'd always been around food and in restaurants. In the last 10 years of my career were at Carleton University. So I managed 3 cafeterias on campus there. And the one thing that always really bothered me was the food that we were putting into the students' bodies. And, I believe in places of growing and learning, we really should focus on the nutrients and the food and what we're putting into the kids' bodies. So I approached them and just said, would you like to try these Tower Gardens? And fortunately, they purchased 3. We have a family bundle pack, and that was my training. I had no clue what I was doing, but I believed in it so much. Fast forward, a gentleman approached me at Carleton and it just said, listen, he was just inquiring about Tower Gardens and asked really at the end of the day why he should partner with me. And I told him that I would get him free shipping, and his first order was 18 Tower Gardens, and we got them shipped from Ottawa to one location. And then I found out that it was a 5-year funded project through the city of through Ottawa Network for Education. The year after that they bought 20, the year after that was 28, the year after that, so on and so forth. So that's how I was able to get into so many schools. And it's just so wonderful when someone sees the vision that I see. I think it starts with our kids. The wonderful thing about all of this is that it does come with curriculum, so the teachers didn't really have to do much. Like we have curriculum already set up, and if you guys are interested in that, I mean, right now we're homeschooling our kids, so it's a really great thing to incorporate into your home with your children. There's grants. One grant that I'm very familiar with is the wholekidsfoundation.org grant. I can definitely type it in the chat box, but it's a $2,000 grant, and the Tower Garden qualifies for that. So I was able to utilize that grant in a few schools throughout the city of Ottawa. But yeah, it's just been, I always think if one Tower Garden can impact 100 kids, and I've been able to get them in over 80 schools throughout the city of Ottawa, I think it's a really cool way that I'm helping to impact a younger generation, because a lot of these kids don't know where food comes from. They think potatoes come from McDonald's or their fresh produce comes from the grocery store. So yeah, we welcome you guys to join this mission and really get the word out, because it's important. It's very important.
Awesome. Thank you, Becky. And thanks for all the work that you do. Yeah, so you just get some ideas of, look at this list of where, if you do decide to become a partner, where you could start to focus your effort, right? Community gardens, urban agriculture, farmers markets, retirement living. Oh my gosh, the retirement centers love these Tower Gardens, because most of them used to be farmers. So class projects, PTA programs, fundraising, and teachers love the towers. They love that they can grow them in classroom. They grow fast. It's less mess than potentially a soil garden. You can move it wherever you want as a learning tool, because it's on wheels. You'll get growing support. As she said, you'll get free access to lesson plans from pre-K all the way up to grade 7, which is pretty cool. And this is what it will look like on your website when you get access, where the teachers can download all this beautiful curriculum. It's pretty awesome. Very, very well organized. Of course, there's the commercial side of it. We've definitely been seeing a lot of interest in Canada with the commercial, which is kind of cool. And then you can just have fun with them, right? Throw a Tower Garden party in your backyard and make salad in a jar parties for your community. Show healthy living. Look at this. There's a farm in a Chicago airport. Like, how cool is that? It's been there like for 8 years. Over 60 restaurants actually get their produce from the Tower Garden Farm right at the airport. Think of that footprint, right? No transportation, no pesticides. Like, what a gift for those consumers. This is a friend of mine, Jeff and Tony Olson. They're partners in one of the largest Tower Garden farms in the United States, in Colorado. And again, it's been a 5-year project, and you can just imagine the gift that they are giving their community with all of this beautiful, luscious, chemical-free plants. We do have one of the bigger farms in Ontario is in Buckhorn near Peterborough. It's been there for 3 years now. They actually have a full-time farmer manager that takes care of it. There's 50 towers, and you can actually book an appointment and go for a tour. You can also order seedlings offline and get them delivered right to your doorstep. So again, if you want to get your tower garden up and running and you don't have the patience to watch your seedlings grow 2 or 3 weeks, you can order them right online. There's also one that's gotten up and running in BC, but lots of opportunity for sure in Canada if you want to go beyond 12 towers. Any chefs on here tonight? Chefs like get it instantly. They just get that, wow, we could be doing this you know, and growing our own produce. So it's a great opportunity if you are a restaurant owner or chef to really consider bringing these in for fresh produce. The customers love it. When I remember in Uxbridge, when I first sold one to the Tin Mill, it's one of the more popular upscale restaurants, and they had one on their balcony, and they had grown tomatoes, and the tomatoes had gone so wild. They were growing hundreds and hundreds of these cherry tomatoes, and it was up, and they had to wrap it around the east trough, and you would see their customers, they would walk and they would like literally just be eating off of it. It was so hilarious. It was a good conversation starter, that's for sure. What are your options for the Tower Garden system? So you can see that you have the option to purchase the Tower Garden Flex. In Canada, that's $750. In the Tower Home is $810. And then there are a bunch of different accessories that you can also consider adding if you want to like spice it up. Almost like an iPhone. It's like, oh, now do you want a case? And do you want this? And do you want that? You can just keep on adding depending on what your needs are. As Becky said, she started with the family Tower Garden at Carleton University. She wanted 3 of them. And that is an option, and it's a better value because you get some extra accessories thrown in for free. So it would look like 12 payments of $195.83 a month. And for those that are even crazier than Becky and going from 3 to 12, we actually have what's called the Community Tower Garden. Remember I told you I had 16 towers? So this is what we purchased, the Community Tower Garden. And this is a little, you know, it's going to be work, but obviously you would do something like this if it was more of a part-time side hobby turned into a business. So a lot of people say, well, Tower Garden BuyJuice Plus, Nicole, can you tell me a little bit more? Because most people want to know, you know, where has it come from? What's the company behind the product? So the Juice Plus company has actually been around for 50 years. It started in 1970. I love the story of it because Jay Martin, the president, just had this vision of providing products to the world that were forward thinking and before their time. So in the 70s, it was fire alarms before fire alarms were ever even legal to have in your house. So talk about being forward thinking, like, wow, what a brilliant man. And that went on for 10 years. And then in the 80s, they were known around the world to be one of the top water filter systems called NSA. And that was for the 10 years in the 80s until there was way too much, I can say, noise and competition, and you could get a water filter anywhere. So in the 90s, they moved to the idea, they were looking at juicers, and they realized the cost of shipping a juicer and just the mess of it, and stumbled across the concept of actually putting and working with farmers, putting fresh fruits, vegetables, and berries in a capsule. So actually doing the hard work for consumers. How brilliant. So you want a juice, but you don't have time. You want the high quality and no chemicals, but you don't have the time. Don't worry. We will do the hard mess for you, and we will put it in a capsule. Then we will research it and make sure that it's actually doing something in your body. And so I've been partnered up with the Juice Plus company, this product, for 15 years. It made a huge difference in our family's health. We started to feel more energy, more vitality. It supported my daughter's allergies. She had about 75 of them. And over a year, we became an allergy-free family. And it's just, you know, I kind of guinea pigged it for about a year in my practice. I had probably about 100 families on it. I wanted to see kind of their pre-blood and after. I really wanted to see how this was, you know, marrying up to the research. And I was so blown away by what I got to see, you know, better digestion. You know, the kids weren't as constipated anymore. Kids were eating more fruits and veg. Dad was starting to eat broccoli again. You know, kids weren't getting as sick as much. Mom was starting to get energized. Dad was starting to lose some weight. Like, there was just this variety of stories that I was like, Nicole, you have to share this with more people. And so I continued to share 15 years later. So that's been our foundational product for 26 years, has been the Juice Plus plant concentrates. We do have an omega that came out a couple years, which is fantastic. We also have a plant-based shake as well if you are a shake user and looking for a great tasting shake. And then of course the Tower Gardens has showed up about 8 years ago. So that's our family. It's very small, it's very narrow focused. What we want to do is help bridge the gap in people's diet and get them more plants, chemical-free plants. So very proud of that. This is a great visual because I always get like, what exactly is in it, Nicole? And you know, just take a look at that visual and ask yourself, you know, when is the last time you had a beet? When's the last time you actually had a mango, a papaya, or a pineapple, you know? Or look at the vineyard, you know, when's the last time you actually ate an artichoke or a black currant or an elderberry? I know for me, in most cases, I tend to eat a lot of the same fruits and vegetables most weeks, most months. And I know where I live, it's very hard to get this range of variety without the chemicals. So I'm just grateful that I have had this in my bloodstream for the last 15 years, and my kids as well. It's just a gift, bridging the gap. As a health professional myself, what I was attracted to is they had clinical research that was peer reviewed. And on humans. And I'm not going to go through all of the research today because I would need a couple hours, but if you are into research and research is important to you, please go to our juiceplus.com website, and there is the research where you can dive in and look at the quality of research that's been done and the peer-reviewed studies. But I'm going to just quickly summarize what the research has shown over the last 25 years of what it does in the human body. It supports cardiovascular health. It reduces inflammation. It supports quality life in cancer patients. It supports healthy cholesterol, healthy lung function. Do we need healthy lung function right now? What's going on in the world? Absolutely. How about healthy skin and gums? Anybody want to support the immune system right now? Probably a good idea. It also helps maintain healthy DNA, reduces oxidative stress, and it's absorbed by the body, and it's been proven over and over. So pretty proud of our research. This fellow down below, I'm in awe of who he is and who he stands for, Dr. Richard Dubois. If you Google him, you will probably find that he is regarded as one of the top AIDS doctors in the world. He practiced for years in the United States, and he discovered Juice Plus through one of his AIDS patients. And over witnessing how much more improved he was, he got curious and he started to play and guinea pig with his AIDS patients. And today, he's been partnered up with us for almost 25 years. I've had the privilege of getting to meet him and hear some of his lectures. And this is what he says: there is nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. So I know that I will have Juice Plus running through our family's bloodstream right to the end because I know it's doing some pretty amazing things. So let's talk a little bit about price. If you are in the US, I feel that this product is so affordable. It's $250 a day in the US. kids get it for free. We have a health study, so mom or dad signs up. The kids can get it for free if they fall between the ages of 4 or 18 or they're in college. A healthy drink to go, just over $2. Omegas for brain, skin function, $1 a day. And then if you're looking at a tower, we're talking about $1.70 a day for the Flex Tower and $2.69 a day for the in-home. So it's less, most of our products, our whole goal would be less than a stop to Starbucks a day. And we definitely fall within that, which is awesome. In Canada, we're just over $3 a day for R3 blend to get you 30 plants. I always challenge somebody if they're saying, oh, Nicole, it's okay, I'll just eat enough fruits and vegetables. Well, guess what the average is in Canada, guys? Adults eat 4 servings of fruits and vegetables in Canada. It's not enough for prevention. In the United States, 1 out of every 10 hits the number. So for $3.33, you can bridge the gap and guarantee that you're hitting it every single day. And to me, that's peace of mind. Kids are free. Just over $3 for a healthy shake to go, just over $1 for the omegas. For the Flex in Canada, it's $2.08, and the in-home is $3.31. So again, very affordable products for consumers. Now I want to touch base on a rebate because I get this all the time, Nicole. Is there a rebate? Is there like a discount that I can get? Because, right now, our family's really stretched. My husband got laid off. I've gotten laid off. We're on a limited income, but I definitely want to put good nutrition in our family's household. Can you tell me a little bit about this opportunity that you've been doing for the last 15 years? And I'm going, absolutely. So real simple. $52 a year gets you a Juice Plus franchise, which is really an international wellness online business. And every time you share a product and somebody purchases it from your store, your website, and the cool thing is we're in over 26 countries around the world. Right now we're shipping our towers to North America only, but we are expanding in 2021 to Europe, which is really, really exciting. But what ends up happening is every time you refer our product to someone and they purchase it on your store, you get a rebate. And that rebate shows up once a month and drops right into your bank account. So I don't know if this is the right time for you to have that conversation with the person that invited you on tonight. But if you are in any way struggling financially, or you could use an extra $500 to $1,000 plunked in your bank account because you started to share it on social media and have some conversations, you might just want to pick up the phone after this presentation and have that conversation with the person that invited you on. My grandfather used to say that once in your life, you need a doctor, a lawyer, a preacher, but every day, 3 times a day, you need a farmer. Isn't that the truth? And that's what the towers do. So we invite you to join us. You can become a Juice Plus customer and get started right away on any of our complimentary plant-based products. You can become a partner. That's where I started 15 years ago. You can start to share Juice Plus with 3 to 5 people and start getting a rebate on your product, getting a discount. As I started, I was like, I had just finished a corporate career. I had just finished my mat leave. I knew I wasn't going back. Money was tight. I'm not going to lie, it was very, very tight, but I knew that I wanted these products in our family. So I had to shift around a little bit of money. I had to look at my shopping bill, and I knew that I needed a discount. And so that's where I started. And right away, I started to share it with a few friends and family and help me pay for the cost of my product. So that's where I started. I would say that that's where the majority of people do start. But then there's a few that are like, you know what? I need to build a side income, and I need to build a side income pretty fast. And I'm willing to put some extra time and energy if you could show me how to do this, franchise. And so there is an opportunity for you to learn that as well too, if that's the category that you fall in. So I am just about done on the presentation. I think I have a few more slides. So that really is just more information about the Tower Garden, a little bit of background of the Juice Plus company. I'm going to continue to go on, but if you have to go and you're not interested in learning more about the business, I say thank you so much for joining. And if you're pretty pumped to order any of our products, make sure that you follow up with the person that invited you on tonight and have that conversation. But if you do want to stay on, thank you. I am going to continue to go, and I assume that you guys want to know a little bit more about the business and how you could be making a little bit more money right now. So I'm going to keep on going. So really, we're, for those of you, if you're stayed on, we welcome you to join our mission to inspire healthy living around the world. There's Jay Martin. He started as a school teacher. He was a school teacher at $500 in his bank account, but he had this forward thinking vision of creating a company where we had, very innovative products. And his mission was to inspire healthy living around the world and to build a stable and lasting company that helps as many people as possible realize their dreams. And a lot of people say, Nicole, why aren't you in a retail store? Why can't I just go down to Canadian Tire? Why can't I just go down to the health food store? And I go, read his mission statement: to build a stable and lasting company that helps as many people, not a CEO of Canadian Tire, not a business owner of a, whatever grocery store. It's because he understood the power of word of mouth. How brilliant. And he is such a humble man and a very, very giving man, which I'm so grateful for. Longevity, well, we kind of proved that. 50 years, very authentic, quality, community, simplicity, approachability, and a very generous company. Product is unique. You saw there's nothing like it in the world with the Tower Garden, and then we're the most, researched whole food supplement in the world. So we stand out, we're different. And I don't know one company in the world that is giving away free product to kids. I always like to use this example. You have a kid, a child, teenager, 15 years old. You as a mom, you sponsor your 15-year-old child. And that 15-year-old stays on it for 4 years and gets free product. That's over $3,600 worth of free fruit and veg concentrates that our company is gifting that family. I don't know a company out there that is that generous today. And the mission. So again, founded in 1970 in over 20 countries. We're just opening up Mexico this year. How exciting. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about Mexico. I think I want to retire there. We're part of the wellness industry, and we're a pretty big company, 15 billion in sales since inception, and we're coming on a billion in sales a year with our small, simple line, which is incredible. So our business model is unique. I mentioned it's $52 to sign up. You can work from anywhere in the world. It's small, focused product line. It's consumable. It's residual income. It can turn into a part-time. It can turn into full-time. For me currently, it's kind of like, again, I never thought I would be doing this as a full-time income opportunity, but it turned into that. I never did have to go back to my corporate job after my kids went back to school. My income replaced my six-figure income. And I'm so grateful for that. It's allowed me to stay home, raise my kids on my own terms. I've been my own boss for the last 15 years, and I am not hireable because I like flexibility. I want to work when I want to work. There's no inventory, it's low overhead. They have a great business website and support. Commission levels are permanent, so as you work through our marketing plan and life happens, we don't roll you back and you have to start all over, which I love. And no glass ceiling, right? You can go as high and as far as you want, which I love, because I remember in my corporate days, and maybe some of you can relate, I had maxed out at the highest level of income that I could get in that category. And it didn't matter how hard I worked that year, I was still going to get the same salary. So I know what that's like when you have a glass ceiling, and it's not fun. It's not motivating whatsoever. And then we definitely have business incentive, bonus, expense allowance, benefits package at the top of our marketing plan. And when I say benefits package, I know for me going through a divorce, I know that I needed a benefits package, and that was a big reason for me to move fast through the marketing plan. Because I needed medical insurance, I needed dental insurance and vision and life and long-term and chiro and family tuition reimbursement if your kids go to college or university. And I got a monthly expense allowance. So it's a beautiful, beautiful gift. Scroll through that. The give back, real quick, I love the fact that the Juice Plus company has pledged a Tower Garden to every Boys and Girls Clubs in North America. And I know Patricia's on here, and you've been partnering with your local Boys and Girls Club to help and support them, which is really cool. We're a huge supporter for the Memphis Marathon weekend, for the St. Jude's Hospital. And we're donating 10 million complete meals through the Volunteers of America and Children's Hunger Fund. So again, a big company with a big heart. So really the opportunity is that you get to share what we do, what we have, and you can change lives. So you share as you live your life. That's kind of how I did it in the beginning, just sharing it with a few friends. My first partner is on here, Anita, tonight, and she was one of my first friends that I shared it. She was the one that did my blood work. She's the one that, oh my gosh, your blood is so amazing. Let me, join you. I want to share this in my clinic. Another big one, this wasn't around when I was starting 15 years ago. I wish it was, but we share on social media. If somebody asks me today, where do you get most of your business, Nicole? Social media, through posting, through letting people know what I do, through storytelling, and we can teach you how to do that. And then we also have a ton of health professionals that are constantly gifting us with free educational seminars. We just had a functional medicine doctor, Tamara Sachs. She's also background in ER medicine and cardiology. And she did a fabulous talk last week out to the world for free to talk about how food turns on or off our genes. So that's the type of caliber of and community that we get to connect with, which is really cool. We've also had Tim Blank. We also had Stephen Ritz recently. Stephen Ritz is a huge teacher that has created a movement around growing in abandoned buildings and teaching kids to grow. And we just get associated with these pretty big thought leaders that are making such a difference in the world, and so grateful. So what would you like this business to do for you? Make a difference and join an awesome community, maybe cover a car payment. How about enjoy more time and financial freedom? I know that was my big motivation. Or how about just giving back? So actually, I'll go back to this one. So just so you guys know, we actually, we were supposed to get together in Arizona, and we were supposed to get together, with all of our partners across the world. 7,000 to 10,000 people get together every 6 months, and it got canceled. And so our company gifted us with the first time ever an online conference. And this is what the speaker lineup looked like. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you are like really excited, really curious, you're the type of person that's like, oh my gosh, I want to dig in. I've got time. We have access to these speakers and talks and presentations like Tim Blank's talk and Stephen Ritz on the Green Bronx machine. We can give you access, and you can go and watch this on your own time if that is something that is of interest to you. So I'm going to stop the presentation and recording, and then we can get into the Q&A. So again, thank you for joining. And for those of you that are watching later, thank you for tuning in. And again, make sure you just get back to the person that invited you to watch this information so you can have a conversation to find out if it's your time.